Well, this is like take 1000 trying to get this phone to work so I can take this video. It hasn't been working. Then my little cousin got me sick. Her nose is running, and now I'm sick. I'm getting better though. It didn't last for only like 2 days. Well, it felt like 3,000 years, but it only lasted like 3 days. But trying to complete this about when I was at the trenches. So when I was at the trenches, it was like my dad was on a 4-wheeler. It was something like this, but way bigger. It was like one of them Honda joints, and I was on this. So as I said, we were going down to this pit. I was hitting rocks, and we were riding across some trees and stuff. It looked like a forest, and as we make it down there, rocks were all over the place. So of course, me having no suspension, I hit every rock and felt all the blunt force of it. And then for this one like, I don't have a battery for that one, so I haven't really been riding it. But I was struggling to keep up with my dad on my mini bike, because I was having a hard time dealing with the terrain. It's not like built for like really, really messed up ground. I mean, it is built for that. It's just hard to manage in that type of condition. So I was struggling, and he was leaving me behind like all the time. And as we make it down there, we finally get down there. I park my mini bike because I don't feel like riding it no more, because I need to take a break. It needs to take a break. It's probably overheated, because the vent is like right here. Hold on, I rode it back here, but yeah, this is the vent right here. I can feel it's warm. I had to ride it back through here, and my mini bike, it was probably overheated. I had enough gas to spare me to get all the way back here, but I just, like, it's cooled down. Like, we had to wait until it cooled down. So then Dad said ride on his 4-wheeler and go through like the water and stuff. So I was going slow. I didn't know what I was doing, so I was going slow. And there was like, it rained, so it was just mud. It was ponds like in mud, and there was steepness because there were 4-wheelers down there. We could tell because there was a 4-wheeler tire. And I was riding, and a couple minutes later, Dad said go into this big deep pond. I ride into the pond, and I didn't really gun it to where I could accelerate on up out of there. I was going slow, so of course the 4-wheeler, it doesn't have the momentum to keep going, so of course it sinks. And then he said kick it into a 4-wheel. I put it in there, put it in high gear, and I just kept sinking because the tires were burrowing into the dirt. So later, I kept trying to get it out of there. He said, "Oh, it's stuck." And after that, we grabbed some sticks to like put like lodge underneath the tires, so that when it rolls back, it could just pull it, like get just enough traction to rip itself up out of there, and we can continue down or go home or whatever we were about to do. But that didn't work because all the sticks that were rotten, they were just about rotten. So I was trying to dig back on the mud. That really didn't work. It had no effect whatsoever. But I managed to see how far deep the pond was. It made it to my dad's 4-wheeler. His 4-wheeler, I can't remember how high it was, but it was about halfway to this rail bar, or it was about to this mini bike. That's how it's, probably just a little bit lower, but it was like the whole bottom was fully submerged. Only thing you could really see was the top frame. You could only see the frame. You couldn't see no tires, nothing underneath there. Only headlights, backlights, and frame. After that, we were we were looking for some logs and stuff, trying to figure out ways to get it out. But then we couldn't really get it out, and like a couple hours passed after this. So my dad said, you know what, I'm gonna call Uncle Gil and all the rest of the uncles, because there was Uncle Tom, Uncle Robert, and Uncle Gil. They came. It was a Carmel. I can't remember what it's called, but it was like this thing where you crank it and it pulls things up out of tight situations. So we ended up hooking that up to the four-wheeler and all that, and we were just cranking it. We were cranking it. The four-wheeler, it kept coming. It came out at some. So then we started trying to reverse it up better to make things easier, and that could have helped if we like made a little bit of a slope, so it could be like, so it doesn't be like a whole mountain and you gotta go up. But then we finally get it out. It took about like 25 to 30 minutes. It took like 15 to 30 minutes. I can't remember how long it took. But once we got the four-wheeler up out of here, we ended up, I went to go get my mini bike, and all my uncles and everybody, they went back to what they were doing. Like, they got in the car and they left, and I get